Hey, what's up, everyone? You're listening to the Man Reinvented Show. I'm your host, Scott Taylor. I'm a former door-to-door salesman who gave up a six-figure income that I earned in just 4 months out of the year to pursue my passion of making a bigger impact in the world. This is the podcast where I talk with amazing people making big changes to fulfill their deeper purpose. Let's get into today's episode. What's up, everyone? This is Scott Taylor, and this is my new show. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've put it off, and in light of just kind of stomping out the idea that everything's got to be perfect, here I go. I'm just doing it. So I'm starting this show. It's Man Reinvented. That's the name of it. For now. I might change it down the road. I'm going to be creating a Facebook group, and the idea is I want to become kind of like a reporter, and I'm going through this process of, starting a business online, and I'm kind of documenting my journey, and that's why I'm doing this. I want to interview a bunch of people that are way ahead of me, maybe a couple steps ahead of me. And that's the idea. But to start it off, I just kind of wanted to introduce you to myself and kind of tell you what my history is, where I've been, where I'm at now, and where I'm trying to go with my career and my life and my, me. So anyways, I just want to kind of go back. And when I was a little kid, my parents did a great job providing what I needed. We didn't have a lot though, and they would do the best they can, but I had to kind of figure out ways to pay for things for if I wanted something extra, extracurricular, or just go swimming in the park or whatever. So when I was like, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8, I don't even know, maybe 10 years old, I don't even know. When me and my friends in the summer would want to go do something that would cost money, like go swimming at the park, to pay for admissions or go to the movies or whatever, we didn't have a job. We were too young to work, and so we kind of thought up creative ways to make money. One time, to start, one of the first things I remember doing is I would go around. I lived in a college town, tons of college kids. We actually lived right next to a big apartment complex full of college girls. And there was a bunch of them all around us. And so I would go and knock on their doors and take out their garbages for $0.25. And so here I am showing up with my messy clothes, my red cheeks, my mouth's red because I used to lick my lips all the time and they were always sore, my messy hair, with a big smile on my face saying, "Hey, can I take out your garbage for $0.25?" And I would go through an entire complex, sometimes multiple complexes with my friends in order to earn the money. And a lot of times the girls would give me exactly $0.25. Sometimes they'd try to negotiate, but a lot of times they would give us way more than what we asked, or have us do other chores like do the dishes, sweep the floor, whatever, for more money. And so we'd get done and we'd have when we were kids, it was like 15, 20, $30 that we'd earned in the matter of like a couple hours of work. And we would have enough money to go do whatever we wanted. And so we just kind of learned how to think outside the box and do things creatively. So fast forward, when I was, I think I was in 8th grade. Yeah, because I was in a private school. I was in this school. There was these 2 girls that I really had big crushes on. There was actually a bunch of them, but there was these 2 in particular. One's mom actually ran a dance studio. And so one day, her mom came and introduced us to ballroom dance. It was swing dancing, cha-cha, samba, all this cool stuff. Fun dancing, and they demonstrated to us, and I'd never seen it before. And I saw this cute girl that I had a huge crush on dancing with her brother, and I just was like, I gotta learn how to do this. This is awesome. It blew me away what they were able to do. And so later on that day, the lady was like saying, "Hey, you guys want to come join our class?" She was trying to promote her dance class and get more students. So I grabbed a neighborhood girlfriend of mine, and Autumn, I don't know if Autumn's listening to this, but Autumn Haverly, she came down with me, and we went and took this class, and it was amazing. The cool thing about it was I was one of maybe 5 guys that were in the class, and there were probably like 20, 25 girls. It was pretty awesome, and they were all super cute girls. So needless to say, I stuck around for a while, and I got really good at ballroom dancing, and I specialized in the international Latin stuff. Later on in my career, or call it a career, whatever, in my dancing career, I actually used to compete against Max Tchaikovsky, Valentine, his brother. I didn't compete against him, but Cheryl Burke, those are guys that were on the Dancing with the Stars. I took lessons from Louis Van Amstel, Victor Konevsky, all these people. I actually moved to New York City to do this out of high school, but that's a side tangent. But anyways, so I got really good at this, and I ended up pairing off with one of these cute girls that I had a crush on in this private school I was going to. And anyways, we would fly in this coach from California, and he would coach us in ballroom dancing. He wasn't cheap. I mean, we would pay hundreds of dollars each time he'd come out, and we needed money. And so I would go around, and I actually went around my town, and I went to the big grocery chain in my town, and asked for them to sponsor me. But he did. He sponsored me. He actually paid me some money for me to kind of promote the grocery store name around the town or whatever. But I also, like, all my friends would try and go and get like burger flipping jobs, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, and they're just getting minimum wage. They're putting in a ton of hours while they're going to school. So it was, I'd hardly ever see my friends. And here I am trying to like get better at dancing and, just super, super passionate about this. And I figured, man, I need to figure out a way so that I have time to practice, time to have a social life and go to school, but also make good money. And so what I do in the summers, instead of getting just a normal job, is I would go knock doors, and I would find lawn mowing jobs. I had my own lawnmower and a weed whipper, and I'd take my can of gas and weed whipper and lawnmower, and I grew a little side business up to like probably 15 lawns at one point. And I would get most of the lawns done in one day, maybe 2 days. And if it was in the summers, I'd just do it whatever day I wanted to. If I was still in school, it would be on the weekends, Saturday. And I would just get them all done. And I made way more money than a lot of my friends were making. And I did it in way less time. And it was just so cool. And so I was able to get really good at dance. And I competed. I actually was, I went to a international open to the world competition in Miami, Florida. And I actually placed, this is when I was in high school, like maybe a senior in high school. I placed 17th in the world. And I was dancing against like Maxim at this time and Eugenia Maria Katsima, and some pretty big names in the international Latin ballroom world. So, but anyways, that's just kind of just trying to demonstrate, I had an entrepreneur heart from the beginning. And if I was passionate about something, I would figure it out. I would figure out a way. I had this intuition to think outside the box and figure out ways to do things that were outside the norm. So anyways, fast forward, I went on a mission for my church, right out of high school, came back to college, and I was trying to figure out what I should do. And I kind of bounced around in, with my majors, like most kids do. Didn't know what I was going to do. I had no direction. No one was guiding me. It was just me. And I just kind of, I went into Anat and Phys, like pre-doctor stuff. Then I went into accounting. I ended up finding myself in construction management and business. And that was what I graduated in. And the reason for it was I'd read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'd read The Cash Flow Quadrant. I'd read books like this that you know, outside of all the stuff I learned in college, those are the things that I value the most from that time of what I learned. And so anyways, I went into construction and business because I wanted to ultimately do real estate down the road, because Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in that book, he talks about real estate a lot. It's just super fascinating. It always has been to me. So anyways, I got this job out of college, and me and my wife, we were, you know, we didn't have any kids. I'd got married, by the way. Me and my wife didn't have any kids at this time. So we moved to California, Ventura, California. And I got an amazing offer right out of college. And we were making way more money than I'd ever think I'd ever be making, ever. I mean, I came from next to nothing, didn't have a lot, and this was crazy. My wife was working too. She made a great salary. I had a great salary, had benefits, like everything. And we were dinks, double income, no kids. We were making a lot of money. We would basically live off one income and save the rest, save the other income. And so, but we kind of fast forward. It was really cool at first, and then all of a sudden it kind of plateaued off, and then the real life kind of sets in, and holy cow. I remember sitting in this cubicle. I was at this construction job. I worked for, it was Matt Construction in LA. Great company. But they did all private work at the time. And so we were doing like seismic upgrades on Nordstrom malls, and the last project I worked on was a Catholic seminary that was being turned into a private high school, and it was just crazy stuff we're doing. But anyways, like the drudgery of the work, I was working long hours and had a really long commute because I was commuting up to Santa Barbara, and a lot of times going into LA. Lots of traffic in California, drives you crazy. But anyways, over time, that honeymoon phase of, you know, making good money and, you know, having a good job and all these benefits and stuff kind of wore off. And I just felt, man, is this it? And then I'd look at the corporate ladder, and it's like 40 years, and maybe in like 20, I'd be a VP or something and be making like $250, maybe $300,000 a year if I'm lucky. But you know, anyways, I looked at that and I just felt, man, there's got to be a different way. And I knew there was a different way. I knew there was better ways. I'd read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'd read the Cash Flow Quadrant books. I've read those books, and I believed them because I'd seen people like the Cash Flow Quadrant become business owners. Aside from being an employee or self-employed, they'd become a business owner, and they would get ahead faster than anyone I'd ever see. And I knew people like this growing up that owned businesses, and they were very wealthy, and you know, had a ton of wealth because of it. And so I felt like the walls were closing in, guys. And like I said, this was my first corporate job. And you'd think at this time that I would be like, just kind of humble myself and just be grateful. But no, the anxiety kept growing and growing inside me. I just felt like I was just unspent energy, unspent potential. And I just couldn't shake that thought. I always had this feeling of, you can do more, you can be more, you can give more, Scott. You can be way greater than this. You can do so much more and make so much more of an impact in the world. And so anyways, me and my wife decided at a point that we wanted to have kids. We were ready. And so we started like trying, and then we did the budget. Me and my wife are very conservative. We usually budget every month. We look at our finances. We don't go crazy. We don't go on crazy trips. We've never done that. But we looked at our budget, and if my wife stayed home and and took care of the baby while I worked, we crunched the numbers, and we were basically going to be living paycheck to paycheck. We were basically just going to break even each month. And that's just not where I wanted to be, especially, you know, I was 2 years into this career with this company, and it was so painful. And around the same time, I had a friend that called me up, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm doing real estate, and I'm going to this college that teaches you how to do this investor stuff." And I knew this company, what he was talking about. And I'd actually purchased some of their like information product through college. And, but I just couldn't justify doing it because it wasn't like a job, it wasn't a sure thing. And I just felt like it was too risky, but I was so envious. And I remember him telling me, yeah, man, I'm doing all kinds of real estate deals. I'm learning how to do it. And I'm also selling this education to people and I made like 70 grand in the last couple months. I'm like, holy cow. He just blew me away. And so he kind of planted this seed, and I just started like mulling this over. And so I remember this was like the weight of the world was on my shoulders time for me. Like I could not stop thinking about this. It was on my mind all day long. I'd wake up, it was on my mind. I'd sleep and dream about it. It was that pressing of an issue. I really just wanted to figure out what I should do. Should I go and do this real estate thing with my friend? He actually said we could partner and do stuff together. Or should I just stick this out, the sure, secure, easy thing, or not easy, but, just the sure thing. Should I do the safe thing? And I remember me and my wife just going back and forth about this. And anyways, she got pregnant, and we actually went on a trip, and we went to a Lifehouse concert, one of our favorite bands. And I remember being in this concert. It was a really intimate venue, and like a little theater. And Lifehouse puts on an amazing show with lights. Their music is perfectly tuned, like no distortion. It was beautiful, but the music was super loud. So I had to actually wear a little earplugs a bit to kind of block it out so my ears wouldn't go deaf. But I remember being in this, and I just felt the music just going through my whole core because, it was loud music. We were like 10 rows up from the front of the stage. And the music is so moving, and the lyrics are so deep and profound. And I remember feeling this, just do it, Scott. Just do it. You'll never know unless you try. Just do it. And I pretty much made the decision with my wife pregnant, to basically go self-employed, start my own company, and move to Boise, Idaho. That's where my friend was living at the time. I made the jump, guys. I was terrified, but I made the jump. And when I made that decision, I felt so free for a time. And so, anyways, I went in a few days later, or maybe a week or two. I think it took me a while to build up the courage to actually give my notice at work. So I gave my notice. I actually gave a 2-month notice. Like I gave them like, hey guys, I'll work for 2 more months, and then so you can replace me, and I can train my replacement, whatever. I didn't realize that was kind of crazy. And so, anyways, a couple days later, maybe 2 days later, I was at the job working, kind of going through the motions. And my project manager called me up, say, hey, Scotty, I'm on my way up there. Stay there. Don't go home yet. And I knew it was going to happen. He came over, and it's the rainbow papers. Anyone know what I'm talking about? They call it the rainbow papers. You sign all these papers, basically, I think, to displace liability so you can't sue the company or whatever. But I was done. He said they were letting me go early, and they're going to give me a severance package and all this stuff, which was really good. But it was real, guys. Holy crap. I remember that feeling, that pit in my stomach, just, oh my gosh. It's done. I'm doing this. It's real. Like, there's no turning back. And I just, oh my gosh. It was like, I started panicking a little bit. But anyways, I was still excited, but I was just like nervous. So anyways, fast forward, I moved to Boise, Idaho. My wife had our baby, our first little baby, and she's 10 now. But anyways, I started partnering with these investors, these real estate investors that would do short sales. And so I would get lists of homeowners that were losing their home to foreclosure because they were in default, and go and work short sale deals. And so about a year into this, and I was kind of really inefficient, didn't know what I was doing. I'd wake up and think, man, I really want to do something, but what do I do? Dang it, what do I do? And I was also selling the education, so I was kind of splitting my time. It was kind of like a direct sales type company. But anyways, I fast forward about a year, and 2008 financial collapse happened. And you'd think this would be a really good time because a lot of people are losing their homes. You can work out short sales, but the banker bailout made it so the banks they just stopped negotiating for a big, long period of time. And I just kind of dried up. We couldn't make deals work and couldn't make money. And so I had to basically find something new. I basically lost my shirt, in this new venture. And so I started doing like little side jobs, construction jobs, working for some flippers that I knew, doing construction work at houses. And, I was just this is a dark time. Like I felt awful. And we had to actually move out of our apartment, and my wife moved home while I stayed in Boise to kind of work. And I was living with this friend of mine in his house that it was half being remodeled, and it was just a dark, dark time. And I felt like a failure. I just felt like I just, thrown it all away. But I remember in this college, this real estate college I was going to, I met this guy named Wes Portwood, one of my favorite people. But anyways, me and him hit it off like right away. He was a door-to-door salesman. He ran sales teams that he would recruit out of the college that we lived close by, or where he lived close by. But he made great money. And so I met him, and I was in this situation where, what do I do? And I really wanted to make this dream happen, but I was running out of steam. Our savings were running out. We were running out of it. And so anyways, I called Wes up. I said, hey, Wes, do you think it'd be possible? And I was I was joking. I said, hey, man, do you think it'd be possible for me to come sell pest control and bring my family with you guys? And, for the summer, what do you think? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll bounce it off the company. So I was like, okay, cool. And so he comes back to me and he's like, hey, man, I'd love to have you come sell with us. But here's the thing. You can't bring your family because the company doesn't pay for married housing, only single housing. So I was like, oh, crap. And at the time I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. No way. I was, newlywed at this time, maybe a newlywed by maybe 4 years or something. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do it. So anyways, I go home and I tell my wife, I kind of tell it jokingly, like, I don't know. Wes told me this, but yeah, it's kind of dumb. But then that was like a Saturday. So then the next day was Sunday. And I remember we went for a walk. And it was beautiful in Boise, like so beautiful. It is the most beautiful place in the summer ever. Green everywhere, green trees. We went on this beautiful walk. It wasn't too hot. And we started talking about the possibility of this. Like, what if, right? At the time I was working a construction job. I think I was making like $12-15 an hour. It was not much. And as we talked and walked, and it became very profound to me that I had to do it. It just like I had this pit in my stomach, like I knew I had to do it. I knew it was the right thing to do, even though it made me nauseous to think about it. And because my daughter was like maybe 4, 5, 6 months at the time. And so I ended up making the decision. I went down to Marietta, California and sold pest control for 4 months. I think I came home once. My wife came down and visited me once, but other than that, it was pretty much FaceTime. What did we use back then? Skype? I can't remember. So, but anyways, yeah, I went and I hustled, I knocked doors, and I kid you not, guys, that is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life is knock doors and sell door to door. It is so flipping hard. You face your demons all day long. Anything you don't like about yourself all day long. If you don't manage your mind, it just stares you right back at the face. But anyways, I did that, and I ended up actually being pretty good at it, and I made about $30,000 that summer, which, for a young guy, newlywed with a baby, that was pretty good money for 4 months of work. And so it was so hard though. I was like, never again, and I'd actually done it one summer before that in college, which whatever, I only did it for 2 months. It was good, but I didn't do it in college anymore because I had to do internships to graduate. And so that kind of spent my summers doing internships instead with construction companies. So anyways, I I kind of put it on the shelf, and I went and got this sales job at like a telemarketing company. It was awful, but it was good work. It was hard work, but it was, sitting in a cubicle, making calls left and right, selling telemarketing services to businesses. Oh, it was hard. I made some good sales. I did pretty good at it, but I got that whole corporate thing. I got that whole corporate feeling of like, oh, the walls are closing on me. Is this really what life's all about? So anyways, fast forward that next spring, and the same company I'd sold for the previous summer came to me and said, hey, do you want to be a manager? We really liked you last summer. You want to be a manager? I said, heck yeah, sign me up. So I gave my notice to that phone sales company and decided to go sell pest control again and lead a team in Anaheim, California. So I was getting ready to go, and then my friend, the same friend that got me into the real estate stuff, had told me, hey, I met this other company that's would pay you this much, and it was like 15% higher than what this company was paying me in my commission. And so I was like, heck yeah, I'll look at it. Let's talk to him. And I felt a lot of turmoil because I'd already signed a contract with this one company. But I was stupid not to at least entertain them and hear them out. And so got talking to them and ultimately made the decision to go to Dallas, Texas and sell for this other company. And had a great summer. I mean, I can't remember how much I made, probably $50,000 or something like that. It was a great summer. So anyways, I was still kind of undecided. What am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? And this company had told me, hey, if you can sell 400 in a summer, and that puts you at like the top 1 to 5% in the industry if you can do that. They said, if you can do this and then also recruit a team, then you can partner in with us and open your own office and be a business owner with us. And I was like, heck yeah, that was sweet. So that was kind of my goal. I really wanted to. So I worked hard. My brother-in-law ended up passing away the end of that summer. So it kind of took a lot of the steam away from me. Otherwise, I was on track to doing close to 400 that summer. But anyways, so we ended up putting our house up for rent in Boise, and we moved back to Rigby, Idaho, where my wife was from, to be close to her sister. And I was basically deciding to do this pest control thing for the long haul, and so I was going to take my winters off anyways and recruit teams. And so we moved back home. It was kind of a perfect fit. And it was really good to be home with my wife's sister, to kind of be around her because she just lost her husband and she had 2 kids. So it was really sad time. But the next summer, I went out and I sold in Corona, California. My 2 friends that I'd met in Dallas, they were starting an office with this company. These guys were like my role models, whatever you want to call them. Awesome guys, loved them to death. And so I was one of their salesmen to help open this office in Corona, California. And so this summer I was like, I'm going to sell 400. And the next winter I'm going to recruit my guys. And so I did it. I sold 400 that summer. The next winter I recruited about, I think it was like 15 guys. A handful of them went home. But anyways, I went out and we started our own I started my own company in LA, California. I was a business owner finally. A dream come true. I had done it. And so I would sell for the summer. I would lead my team, manage, train, and sell. I would own the accounts, but also get paid commission for the sales that I would make personally. So I'd sell, 300-400 each summer myself and lead my teams. Then go out in the winters, go home and recruit a team. It was awesome. But anyways, we grew it for about 4 years, and about the end or the middle of the middle of the 4th summer, my partners called me and were like, you know what? We're kind of wanting to go a different direction with our careers and, for whatever reasons. And we ultimately decided to sell. And guys, I had my blinders on. This is a dream come true. I had my own business. I was a partner in this amazing company, and I wasn't thinking about 5-10 years down the road. All I could muster was, this year, this summer, the next winter recruiting. So I didn't have any plan if we were going to sell. I thought we were going to grow this company to be 10,000 accounts. That was my goal. But anyways, we decided to ultimately sell. And it was great because we ended the fourth summer. We had the most accounts we had ever had. It was a great time to sell if you're going to sell. And so we ended up selling to one of our competitors, one of the biggest companies in the world, or pest control companies in the world. And it was an amazing payday, best payday of my life up to that point. And so anyways, I didn't know what to do though. I had no clue. So I ended up selling the next summer while the transaction was going down, while we were selling this office to another company. I sold for my partner's office for that summer just to stay close, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't really see myself partnering in again and doing the whole thing again, because I was getting older and it was a little harder to recruit these college kids. And I wasn't really passionate about pest control. Let's face it. I didn't really care about that. I just liked the business model. I liked being an owner, and I liked the freedom that it gave me, the financial and the time and all the stuff that came with it. And so at this point in my life, I kind of felt lost. Like, what am I going to do? And so I started searching and trying to find that one thing that I should do. Like, I felt like I was in a position to where I could actually make a transition into something I'm all passionate about. Like what I sell, I'm passionate about. What I do, like how I do my business, I needed to find the right fit for me. And this was my time. And so I started this search. And so I sold for my partner's office that summer. And the next summer I went to New York, sold in Long Island, New York. And all along I was taking like 8 months off in the winter, trying to figure myself out, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with myself when I grow up, So anyways, I went to Tony Robbins a couple times. I went to Business Mastery, Tony Robbins Business Mastery. I was going to partner with a friend in a pest control company, and it just didn't work out. Didn't feel good about it. It didn't seem to be the right thing, and so I backed out. And so I went to Business Mastery with no business. And the one thing I got out of that expensive seminar I went to, and it was amazing, don't get me wrong, it was amazing. Tony Robbins is the man. Oh, yeah. But the one thing I got out of that was I realized that I wanted to start an online business. And I'd remembered back in college, right before I graduated college, I went to this business seminar that the college put on. And there was this lady that was standing up front telling us all about her business, that she was selling these little kits. It was like an e-commerce business. That's what you call it now. But at the time, I had no freaking clue what it was called. But it was an e-commerce business that she was selling sprout kits online and making a fortune. And this was like, this is way, way, way the internet's just, not getting going, but it was like, internet business wasn't a huge, huge thing back then, or at least I wasn't aware of it. And so it just planted a seed way back then in college. And I was like, dang, that is the be all end all. If you can figure that out, that's technology, that's automation, that's one to many. Like if you figure that out, the world is your oyster, really. If you can figure out how to do that online business. So that's always what I thought in the back of my head while I was doing real estate, and I'd done this pest control thing, and so here I am at Tony Robbins, paid a big amount of money to be there in Florida at the time. And the one thing I took away is I'm going to go figure out how to start an online business. I'm going to figure this thing out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure this out. And so the next thing I did out of when I left Tony Robbins Business Mastery is I went and bought a Funnel Hackers Live ticket. Russell Brunson puts on this amazing internet business entrepreneur conference. And so I went, and anyways, I've been going through this. This has been 3 years now. And I've ultimately decided that this is what I need to do. Is I need to figure out this online business thing. I need to figure out where I fit in that world. And the biggest reason is I feel like it's the biggest thing to do that gives you the most potential to scale a business and have the greatest reach and just everything. I mean, if you can figure out how to do it right. Obviously, there's the wrong way to do it and there's a right way to do it. So I want to figure out the right way to do it. So here I am, guys. That's where I'm at right now. I've decided to start an online business. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but in the process, I've decided to start this show and become kind of like the journalist or the reporter. And I'm going to be interviewing successful entrepreneurs that have started online businesses, and I'm going to grow this show. And this has always been a dream of mine. And so this is, I've already recorded 4 episodes while I'm at the time that I'm recording this story now. And the way I see it, I'm 96, or I'm 4 down and 96 to go. And then after that, who knows how many more. I mean, it'll be a project of mine. So I'm super excited. I'm super nervous, and just to kind of just get it out there. I know this isn't really scripted and it's not perfect, and I say a lot of ums and I say all this crap, but I don't care, guys. This is me. I'm just showing you the sloppiness. I'm going to go on a journey, and I want you to follow me. And I'm going to need some encouragement. I'm going to need some help. And I'm super excited. And I want to ultimately try to reach people with my message, with this show, that feel stuck, that want to make a transition, that entrepreneur at heart that is just he's kind of cocooned himself around that entrepreneurial heart and just done the status quo and gone far enough into it where it's just so painful now that he just has to do something. Just do it, right? And I want to inspire those to do this, because there's never been a better time in our lives, in the history of the world, to do this than now. We've got the world at our fingertips. There's so much technology. There's so much tools. There's so many people that are doing it, and it's not oversaturated, guys. It is so abundant. There's so much out there. I have one of my good buddies. He started his own business online, and he made $1 million in 13 months. His first 13 months, he quit a job, a really amazing job with ClickFunnels, and he made in 13 months he made $1 million, first $1 million. And this year he's planning on his goal is to make, I think it's $4 million. That's just a little micro example of what people are doing out there. I know I've met people in this industry that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's within your reach. You can really do it. It's really possible. And I want to inspire you guys to think outside the box, to give in to your entrepreneurial tendencies and start nurturing that. Put on the suit. You might feel scrawny and little, but grow into that suit. Go through the journey. Go through the hard times. Go through the challenges that make you become what you need to become to be great. And that's ultimately why I'm doing this, guys. I'm not there yet. I haven't figured it all out, but here I am. I'm going on the journey. So thanks for listening, guys. I know this was a little long, but I just wanted to put it all out there. And I'm so excited for this podcast and this show. Please share it if you know anyone that could benefit from this. Hearing me telling my stories, interviewing these people that I will be interviewing, that needs some inspiration. Share this show with them. Please go to iTunes, give me a like, follow me, subscribe, whatever you do there. I don't even know. And give me a review, please, and just give me a positive review, would you? Please, positive for now. I'm just starting out, guys. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And I'm going to learn the skill set that allows me to have an abundant life, an abundant career with online marketing. I'm super excited. Thanks so much. I love you guys. Have a great day.